Hey Weirdo, welcome back. Today's guest, Matthew White, is the CEO and founder of Qebot and Platypus OS, a revolutionary web operating system that aims to replace traditional browsers entirely. With over 13 years building the company, he's achieved 2.9 million in revenue and 2,000 plus customers while bootstrapping the entire operation with just 6 employees. His vision centers on productivity-focused computing and privacy-first internet access, making him the ideal guest for discussions about redefining the user experience and how we interact with technology. I know you guys know me. I'm an AI freak. I use AI everything. I honestly think it gives me superpowers right now. And it's nice to be able to pick at the brain of somebody who is directly in the space. So without further ado, here's Matthew White.
Hi, my name is Matt. I'm the CEO of Platypus OS. Basically, what we've done is we built an AI assistant that can follow you around anywhere. It can work on applications on your behalf to just make you more productive and have your day be a little more seamless.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons I brought you on is because I'm starting to work in the space of AI and finding all the flaws with the conventional tools that we have currently. So I was definitely on board when I came across your profile. So can you describe like how the OS app actually operates, like how it's different from what we currently use?
Yeah, sure. So the way we think about it is right now, AI is really good at being generative, right? So it can create content and create images. It can, help with search, things like that, which is great. It's a great use case. But we want to kind of change the mindset of what AI can and will be for you. And we're moving more into like assistive AI. AI that can actually work on your behalf, where you can prompt it to update John Doe's phone number in your CRM and then make a call via your Google phone, or do all the little manual things that we just all hate doing, sitting in front of a computer and just typing away, right? What we've done is we found a way that we built a proprietary browser, we integrated AI into the system, and then we gave it access to the DOM so it can actually read front-end HTML and can parse it and can actually do actions on the front end. But more importantly, we also do it through API as well. So if you have an API within the application, we can connect into over 1,500 different applications at this point, and you can take actions. You can just prompt, hey, again, pull a list of all my contacts that are in prospecting and put it in my email marketing and send an email. So those are the kind of things that we're really trying to do is build your personal assistant that can actually work on your behalf on all these different applications. And it's pretty exciting when it actually is capable.
Yeah, I can imagine just even with the tools we have now and the limitations, like thankfully I'm coming from a software background myself, so I can understand the limitations and work past them. But I know the average user isn't. To go a bit more into your company, I'll just name off some quick stats for the audience. So compelling stats of 30% productivity increase among users, 2.9 million in revenue with just 6 employees, and 13 years of bootstrapped growth with over 2,000 customers without external funding. How the hell did you do that?
So we have 2 companies actually. So the first one is Qebot, and that is a centralized platform of SaaS tools. And then we kind of built the idea of Platypus OS on top of what we did with Qebot system. So in our minds with Qebot, we wanted to make something that was more simple and easy for business owners and business managers to be able to use technology. We did it through kind of connecting all these tools in the back end, making it a single sign-in for all these things. And we found that a lot of business owners really loved that idea that everything was in one place and it was connected and it was easier to use. And so we thought bigger. We were like, okay, why don't we bring this to the browser itself, make it more structured around your applications. Then we integrated the AI into it. We're like, okay, we can do something that you like. Our mindset is like, let's get rid of the interface of using applications and then have it all be prompt based. I think about like, you remember Star Trek: The Next Generation when they'd be like, computer, do this, right? That's what we built. That is exactly what we can do at this point. And that's where we're going with this. To be honest, building Qebot and then building this with a lot of stress, a lot of hard work, a lot of just kind of banging our heads against walls and then reiterating what we're working on. I think that's one of the things that a lot of early founders and entrepreneurs, they think they're going to launch something and raise a bunch of money and then go. And we tried to raise money in the early days. We got a lot of no's. And then we're like, hey, we can build this ourselves. And so we did. We will be raising around for the new Platypus OS, but we've been able to bootstrap it into existence so far. Just to anybody out there that wants to be an entrepreneur, you got to be a little bit crazy. But to be honest, there's a lot that goes into it. It's great. I wouldn't do anything else, but oof. It's a life.
I know. I'm just getting into this myself, and it's like I'm having so much fun, but it is more work than I have ever done in my entire life. Like the stress is great, which is weird. So getting into a little bit more into the AI side of things, do you have your own like custom model, or are you using the proprietary models we see now? The one thing I want to get away from people understanding is it's not just GPT, it's not just Gemini. Like, is that what you're doing? You're building your own model for your own system, or are you taking from existing models?
So we're doing a mix, actually. So it depends on what we want our system to do. So if you're using our system for like search or chat or things like that, we're plugging into GPT right now because it really has probably the best system of just aggregated data. So we're using that for that side of it. But when it comes to the stuff that we're doing assistive based, right? So when we are taking the API documents, scraping those, and then using the API connections to run those actions for our customers, we're building the agents around that. And we've got the LLM that we're hosting there because it just makes more sense for us to control it, and we can build our agent system a lot more effectively around that. One of the other things we're doing too is we're building an agent marketplace within the platform as well, where we can have people come build no-code agents that they can start to deploy into this marketplace, sell them on our marketplace, which is really kind of a neat way of thinking about it, because we know that people can come in and use the AI to create basically their own workflows and automations. But we work with a lot of small business owners, and a lot of those people, they're not going to know how to kind of build those out. And so we want to give a way for them to use AI effectively using like pre-built agents that they can buy for $5 to $8. And I think that's what's really cool about where we're going with this. And because we're connected into all the APIs ourselves, we're like the middleware. It's like the agent builders, and then we're the middleware connecting everything, and then the actual app. So it's really easy to build those agents within our ecosystem.
You were like echoing what I'm doing now in my town. Just for context, I live in Newfoundland. Gotta say it right because I keep on getting bad. But I live in a little town called Lewisport, and a lot of the people here are small business owners, but they're also very elderly and don't even use websites and the tech. So what I'm doing right now is going out and building them custom tech that helps them interface between what they have and what they need, like, to do in their business. This is a good market to be in right now, especially in rural environments. It's unimaginable what you could build out here. When talking about, I came up with this concept that GPT or Claude came up with, and it says basically you're the David versus Goliath story, because you're building a new browser to compete against Google. Based on what I know, the DOJ is looking at breaking up Chrome from the Google interface. How is that going to impact your business?
So a way we start to think about this is we think of ourselves as an AI assistant company first. We do have the browser, and you can do everything in our browser you can do in Chrome or Safari or whatever you use. But the way we are trying to kind of idealize of who we are and what we want to be is we're trying to build an AI first operating system that just happens to be based on a browser backbone, right? One of the things that we're doing also is we're building our browser headless. So it'll actually sit in a cloud-based system instead of on your device, which will make it a lot quicker. It'll work a lot faster when you don't have a computer with a great CPU, or if you have low Wi-Fi. Our browser will still work well because it's all kind of run through the cloud and then stream to you. So there's little things we're doing there. It also will make we realize it will make our AI run faster and better. It can sync better to all these different devices. So your AI assistant that we're building will be more structured across the way you use it. So that's kind of the way we're thinking about it. We know that we will technically compete against like Chrome and Safari and things like that, but we don't really look to position ourselves as the browser, as more trying to be your AI assistant. That's why we call ourselves an operating system as well. We want people to think of AI. I think the future of AI is becoming an operating system. It will eventually be on your device and run your device. And I think that's kind of what we're thinking towards and kind of looking forward to. So hopefully that kind of made sense.
Yep. From my point of view anyways, but I have a little bit more technical background than most people. But you did bring up a good point. You are hosting everything on a central server. How are you keeping up with the privacy standards?
Yeah, so there's a lot that goes into that. So one of the great things about our team here is our CTO is like a security guru. He's worked in the industry for a long time. I'd have to talk to him about exactly all the privacy standards that we're getting into. But I mean, one of the nice things about how we operate is our browser itself, like to even use it, you've got to be logged into it, right? Your credit card information, things like that, that won't be saved inside of our servers in our system. That'll always be saved to your device, and we'll connect to it through those types of systems. Passwords you can sync back and forth between devices, but those also won't be synced technically into our servers as well. So we're trying to take as many steps as possible to not only provide top level security, but the privacy stuff. And I think we're doing a pretty good job, but I mean, it's moving fast. So it's something that we have to keep up with on a daily basis, is they're moving quick on this stuff. And we just got to keep learning and keep making sure we're up to date.
Every day I get not even updates. It's like I find out new things that it can do, and I don't know if it's an update or if it's just something I didn't know. This is one of the biggest key points I'm taking away from anything is I don't know what I don't know. And it is showcasing exactly what I don't know as a programmer. I'm such ashamed of myself being like, how did I not know this? Let's go on a journey of like 5 years from now. Where do you see yourself positioned? What do you want this assistant to be? Like, where's your grand goal?
It's a hard question because this stuff is moving so fast, right? Like what AI was a month ago is not what it is today and is not what it is going to be in a month, right? My goal here is like, let's go 1 year out. I think in 1 year, we will have the OS system operational. It is operational now, but it like in full GA mode with the entire agent marketplace, thousands of AI agents, or we're calling them assistants in the system, and really starting to fine tune these agents to be able to do pretty much anything that somebody would need to do in any application online, those types of things. And I want to see our system in the computers and pockets of millions of people. That's obviously the goal, right? One of the cool things I think about with just our mobile side is it's going to be a pretty lightweight system to start, where the browser aspect won't even really be there. It's really just going to be a prompt machine. So you can prompt into our system to get it to do what you need. So I think within a year, we'll start to see our system really becoming the operating system that we want it to be. Again, cloud-based, browser structured. By 5 years, if we want to go out that far, I want to see us devices, to be honest. Again, my idea here is that AI should be the operating system and can be the operating system. If you think about like a Chromebook, that is basically just a computer based on a browser. So we already know this can work and it can be structured correctly this way. So if we can build this and build it AI first, I think there's an opportunity for us to be an operating system that can be device run. I don't know what that looks like or how we get there, but it's a goal and a vision that I have for what we're doing.
I just came across an article. I think it was the Blue Sky CEO just saying like, we have the technology. We've had the technology to do a lot of these things for years. We just haven't. We've made the active choice to not do these things. And it's so true because as I'm going through, it's like, why can't my device do this? Like, it's a logical thing it should be able to do, especially because I'm actually writing a book right now on how to design interfaces for everybody. I like to read it in text, but I also like in different situations. If I'm interacting with a person, I would prefer it to be face-to-face. If I'm interacting with knowledge, then I prefer it to be text. So I'm kind of developing this concept of building input for everybody. Is that kind of what you're looking for? Like some sort of device that allows you to natively use your device as you would as you need it?
Yeah, I think so. So the way I kind of think about this, again, with the Qebot side of the business, right? We work with thousands of small businesses. One of the struggle that we found with them was interface. I mean, just like you're saying, building an interface is hard sometimes. And I've tested hundreds of pieces of software as we integrated new technologies into that platform. And I got to a point where I could see it so quickly, whether a tool was built based on developers that didn't really have any interface experience or ones that did have an interface person in there. And the difference was shocking, right? And there's one of the things we just keep running into is, especially again with small business owners, they'll deploy the CRM and then a month later they're not using it because they just don't want to learn it. They don't want to, the experience is too much. They can't set it up, et cetera, et cetera. And that's a big problem because the CRM really could be helping their business in a lot of ways. With what we're doing here, we're kind of again taking back that interface driven kind of thought process on how these tools need to be operated and pushing it back into more kind of prompt based. So you can just use natural language to actually run your applications now. The way, somebody can be on a job site, some plumber, he finishes a job and says, hey, in my CRM, set Bob John's account to finished and send him an invoice for $635. Boom, done. It can just activate instead of having to go back there and sit at the computer and do that. So I think what we want to build is a way to just make all technology just a lot more approachable for everybody. One of the other things I think about AI too is it's starting to level the playing field, I think too. Again, I know I'm going on kind of this SMB, small business kind of rant, but we're finding that these SMBs are able to they have now a marketing person and they have an operations person and they have a support person, they have a sales person through AI that they didn't have before. They can really start to utilize to level up their game and compete with some of the bigger guys. And we're seeing it with some of our clients on the Qebot side that are starting to use these systems that are just, they're really starting to be able to make a lot more money and do a lot more work, which is great.
That's a big thing that I'm finding too, is just when I go out, it's like, just visually looking at it, it's like you have processes here that you can leverage just to increase your productivity. They're not, because they don't understand why and what. Having something that'll be able to tell them. The biggest device I built for somebody is literally just a button that they can click on their phone, they talk into, and it sends those details to the front desk so that front desk can schedule and do everything properly. It's so simple, but it was how they operate, how they know how to operate. I know if I save my details, then at least it's going to go somewhere and get dealt with. Voice is a heavy thing, especially everything I'm doing, because I'm like, I have these conversations, then I have to take that transcript, compile it so that I know what I'm doing, and then so many needless steps to get to that point. I wanted to ask a question. Is your, well, let's go operating system. I'm just going to call it an operating system. Will it also have agent-to-agent interaction? Will that be allowed to like be configured? Because there's a book by Daniel Atlas Wolf called The Final Business Model, and he sets up a good framework for agentic agent models to be able to keep consistency, keep things built. And I'm like trying to build that in all these tools, but it's like, how do I connect this? And having a central server to just be able to talk through it would be nice. Is that kind of where it'll end up?
It's already what we're building. Yeah. So we're already building agentic AI to be able to communicate and connect with each other, because we're finding just in the way that we operate, the way we operate, our API system is an agent that we've built, right? So that's even got if you're building an agent for automating your CRM to your email marketing, right? Well, so that's an agent that will now connect into our agent that will connect into your email marketing agent to like make it all work and connect together. So yes, the agents have to talk to each other, and then feedback loops are the most important part of it, because the errors that will go through this, what we found is AI is pretty good at error handling, actually. If you can give it the right feedback loop with the right context and have it retry different things. That's where we've been actually pretty shocked at how amazing this technology actually is, because if you give it the right context, it will eventually figure it out if you give it the right information and loops. But yes, the agent to agent it wouldn't work without agent to agent. You have to make the connection between these, or else you're going to have prompts that are 10,000 lines long.
I can imagine. And it's just, I'm echoing. So I come from a government background, the government software background. So the way we used to do it was a waterfall approach. And my team was actually tasked with bringing Agile into the government 2018. Agile in 2018. Let's not uncan that worm. Anyways, we brought it in, and that workflow of project to breaking it down into smaller pieces for people and then reiterating in those cycles to make sure that everything's panned out before you even like release a feature, release a piece of something. I really appreciated that flow. It really taught me more than just what I was doing. It was taught me the whole system. That context is amazing, but QA stops so many things. QA is a great tool. I wanted to ask you, so I don't know if this is a tech thing, but one of the sentiments I keep on saying is learn to ask a good question, because whenever I ask ChatGPT a question, I learn how I answered it or how I asked it incorrectly. Is that something you're taking up onto? Like you're learning where you're failing out and not just the system?
Yeah, one of the things, so when we were building this system at the beginning, we were building the front end DOM system where it can actually operate on the front end of a website. One of the things we ran into was we had a social media tool that we were trying to get it to post to Facebook through, right? And as we would put in our prompt to get it to go through the whole process and click the buttons and then post it up on Facebook, we realized it would get to a certain part and just fail every time. And we realized, because we were saying post to Facebook, but the button in the system was actually compose. And we were like, okay, this is where the trap hits. And so it comes to us to realize, it starts to make us realize not only do we need to figure out how to build better ways to ask questions to AI. Our job is actually to make it as easy as possible for the layman to go in and be able to talk as naturally as possible. And then for us to be able to figure out what the context of that is and then make the AI work around that. So that's one thing that we are working very hard at. And we do a lot of testing to make sure that we can understand these things. We're also building in a system where if our AI does fail at some point, we can ask the user, hey, I can't figure out what to do here. Can you teach me? And then it will teach them, if they can do that last thing, it'll teach our system, okay, this is what it meant to do that. So now it knows, when somebody says post to Facebook, the compose button is what I need to use, right? So it's all a feedback loop that we continuously have to educate AI to understand what it is we need it to do. And I think that's one of the big, again, as the builders, we're the ones that have to think about that more than the end users, because we need to make it as simple as possible. That goes back to user interface, right? If people can't use the user interface, nobody's going to use it. So
that makes sense. And I hope it also works for technical people who are just like, I'm going to bypass everything you told me to do and just go and ram right through it, because I do that a lot, apparently. Let's get into your personal life. What drives you? What brought you to this point? Like, what's your essence?
I've always been a very curious kind of person, right? So, and I think that curiosity leads to boredom sometimes. I'm not great when it comes to jobs that have repetitive tasks or, certain deadlines that I need to stick to. I mean, I set my own deadlines and I set my calendar is very structured. I've never been a great employee. Let's put it that way. I've had jobs in the past that I've done very well at, and I've had bosses that be like, you do a great job, but you're so hard for me to try to manage. And I'm like, I don't even know what to say about it. Because you're always just trying to break something or do something new or change something. You're not listening. I'm like, yeah, I get it. So that curiosity is continuously driving me. Like every time I build something, people will be like, oh, it's successful, it's running, that's great. And I'm like, yeah, but what's next? What do I do next? I want to build something. I love just like the idea of working with my co-founder and our engineers and just thinking through problems and identifying where we can, place things and just kind of create. I just like being creative and developing and building. I think that's what's the fun thing about who I am and what drives me is I get bored and I'm curious and I just keep moving along.
Don't take this the wrong way or anything. You have ADHD?
I've never been diagnosed. I don't think so, but maybe.
I feel that curiosity like 24/7. It's like, I have to build. And even right now I'm thinking about like how to best build an AI tool to build my template or my thumbnails for YouTube. Just weird where my brain goes.
You use our system.
I want to use your system. It sounds like it's going to help me so much. So if you had a magic wand, like you're a builder, if you had a magic wand with the capabilities we're going to have, we know where we're going, right? Roughly. AI just going to get smarter than us. It's going to be better. What do you want to see? What do you want to build in the world?
What I want to see, I want to build a system that allows people to release like the stresses of like the menial and mundane work. I think that's what we're really trying to build towards is I want a business owner to not have to sit at his computer for, 8-9 hours a week to run his billing and do his accounting and update his CRM and like create email marketing templates and do all that kind of stuff. That's all the stuff that nobody wants to do. Like if I'm a electrician, for example, all that work that I'm just talking about right there is taking me off of time I could be spending out on the job where I'm working billable hours, right? So I'm losing money because I'm having to spend all this time on these applications, and I'm losing money because I'm not actually out in the field doing the work. So there's those types of things I think about, being able to automate all of that and get rid of the idea of having to do a lot of those systems. I think that's where I want to build towards. And that will do two things. Number one, I think it will help businesses make more money and get more jobs. And what they're going to have to do when they start doing that is hire more people, right? They're going to have more jobs. You have more opportunities. Also with AI, one thing I think about is somebody's calling at 3 a.m. to a plumber because they have a problem and that plumber misses that call. Well, if you have an AI call center system, you're never going to miss that call. And you're going to wake up the next morning with a scheduled appointment on your calendar to go do that job. So you're going to make more money because you're going to do that. So my idea there is you'll be hiring more people to do the actual jobs instead of just admin work. You're going to spend less time just sitting at the computer doing the mundane work that you hate, and you can do the stuff that you enjoy. And I want it to be able to cut people's hours in the day. Like, why are we working 8, 10, 12 hours a day? Let people go home to their families. Let people, go out and get a drink with friends after work. That's what I want to see. I want to see us stop being so frenzied all the time and start to enjoy life more. And I hope that's the world, the utopia that AI can build for us, is just giving us some
I honestly think it's coming. We're going to see it. The biggest concern I think right now is around children using it, and that can be mitigated for a time being, but eventually they're going to need to hop on board too. But we're the tech guys just like being like, yeah, this is the future, get used to it, as opposed to like, right?
Yeah, doom and gloom, yeah.
So let's get into your entrepreneurial journey. Like if you were to restart, where would you start? Like how would you suggest to start? Give my audience and your audience ideas of like how to run with their idea.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest probably pieces of advice I give to anybody that wants to take this path, be an entrepreneur, build something, is go build it, right? And especially now, like when I started my first company, it was 2010, I think. That was Heckle Sports, which is like a sports social media site for sports fans. We had to go build it all ourselves, right? Like I got a co-founder, we developed all the tech. We took probably 9 months to build this social media site for sports fans. We had to code the whole thing out. It was a lot of work, but we went And we just did it. And like, we knew, I think one of the biggest things people think about is like, I have an idea, let me go raise money and then be able to build it. No, not especially, you may have been able to do that 15 years ago. Today, that is not how it works. You have to go build something. You have to get active users, and then you can go raise money on that. And I think that's one of the big mentalities I want people to kind of take away from this journey, especially today with AI and with all the tools and technologies that are out there. If you have an idea that's technologically based, go build it. Go build an MVP. Go build at least the minimally viable product that people can use and enjoy. And then let people start to use it for free, collect feedback from them, and then iterate it until it's something, at least you have something that people like. And I think going back in my journey, that's something we always did. When I built Qebot, I left my job in advertising. I was like, we're going to build this. And we built for, 6-7 months. I had no salary at the time, and we were just kind of building away. And then we released it, and then we got a lot of people like, this isn't what we're looking for. We're like, okay, great. So let's iterate. And then we iterated and changed. And finally, we started to hit our niche, and we're like, okay, this is what it is. And that's, I think, one of the other things too, is don't be afraid to change. Like, you're going to run into walls. Your first product is not going to be it. I guarantee you your first product is not going to be it. You're going to go out, you're going to make something, you push it out, listen to the people that are using it, take their feedback, continue to build. And then eventually you'll find, all of a sudden it's going to hit, and you'll find exactly what people are looking for. That's my thought.
Oh, no, it echoes what I did for this channel, because I quit my job, basically just said, you know what, this is what I'm doing, got on YouTube, started talking, and then I'm like, okay, how do I make money out of this? And it's like, getting the feedback to change how I do things. And then also like, now I know what I'm doing. I'm an interface between small businesses having big tech, right? And that's I love it. I love being able to like go out and say, hey, like, what do you need to help? What can I do? And even if I don't understand it, my AI can like listen in, take those details, and then parse that into requirements for me that I can throw in Replit or Lovable and give a mock-up and say, hey, play around with it. Is this what you want? And it literally 2 hours. It's ridiculous. I basically think that as a software developer, AI has given me superpowers.
I mean, it's one of our best coders on our team.
It definitely is.
What you were saying too about the team, one of the things I try to think about a lot too, and I want people to kind of understand, and this is why we're building Assistive AI. I heard this, I can't remember who it was from, but the idea that we need to stop thinking of AI as an application or a tool and start to think about it more as an extension of your team, part of your workforce, because that's what it's becoming, right? It's at this point where it's as smart as a lot of people working. And it's just, especially now with the assistive stuff that like we're building, it can do those actions and those tasks for you. It can send out invoices. It can do calculations. It can do all this stuff. So you need to start thinking about it in that way. One of the interesting things I'm also thinking about too is for people that are developing AI and AI agents, what we're looking to do is we're not just tapping into companies' tech stack budgets anymore. We're also tapping into their workforce budgets, because of the automations and things we can do. We can start to pull some of that admin work out, and we can tap into a much broader base of funds that are out there for that people are spending. And we can really cut costs so much. I was talking to somebody the other day on another podcast, and he was like, I spend like $2,000 a month on the editing and, chopping things up for the long form and the short form and all that kind of stuff. I pay this company $2,000-$3,000 a month. Can we do that via like AI? And I was like, technically we could build agents, and it would take some time to build it all, that could structure that entire thing out and do it for you. And then from there, you would buy the agents for, maybe 15 or 20 bucks a month, and you would pay for your AI assistant at $5.99 a month or whatever it is. So instead of spending $2,000 a month, you're going to spend $25. And he's like, that is insane. I can't even believe what you're saying right now, but it's coming. I mean, that's what we're looking at.
Do you hear that, the Canadian government? You're going to lose your entire workforce because they're not needed. This is a big factor up here up north is we have way too much government to do not enough things for not enough people. The processes and the workflows are atrocious, and we spend billions of dollars in waste. So I'm hoping they can get on board with this stuff and actually start using it and smartly spending our taxes.
I know some people that work in the government, and I've seen the technology they use, and I'm like, how do you guys work with this every day? This is the most garbage software I've ever seen in my entire life.
I left in 2023, and we were just integrating ChatGPT. We had to build our own agents in our own framework. Like, we weren't going out and using what's already available because it wasn't fast enough for this privacy side of things. And I'm like, but the privacy's coming. Can we not just build it so we know it's coming? But no, it's a top-down approach, not a bottom-up. And that's one of the things I do want to bring up. Because you only have 6 teams, it's a bottom-up approach. Can you talk to how that structure works? This is the one thing I've been pontificating on. I did just use that word for whatever, but actually like a bottom-up approach company where your employees are the ones informing you and leading you in the decisions you make. And I assume your structure is essentially like that because of the small team.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be. And I think if you look at most successful companies, I think they operate a lot more bottom-up than not, right? Because what you get is you get people the people sitting at the top, they don't talk to people enough. They don't interact with the technology enough. They're not in it. They're sitting there fundraising, or they're making large decisions about the board, things like that. What we need is the people that are in it day to day, the people that are talking to customers. Like, our support people are probably the most important people on our team. So we do have more than 6 because we do some outsourcing, some of the support and the sales stuff, but we're talking to those people every day to understand what it is our clients need and want, because they're the gatekeepers of that. They know when somebody's mad, when somebody's happy, when they've solved a problem, and how we could solve that problem on a more mass scale, right? And I want my people spending a number of hours per week just on creative endeavors, right? Because when they sit there and can be creative and have fun and just think through things, that's where the best ideas are going to come from. Like, a lot of them, our agent marketplace aspect came from our team just kind of being like, what could be really cool is people could just build agents and then we could deploy them and sell them and have it. And I'm like, great. Let's build. Let's do that. That sounds super fun. So anybody who's dictating down, you're going to lose a lot there. Now, at the end of the day, decisions have to be made, and the decisions go up to the CEO, and the CEO makes decisions and everybody buys in. But if you're not listening and collecting all the data, your decision making is going to be lacking, if that makes sense. So always listen to the people that are in the weeds. Listen to the people that are doing the things and give them the creative runway to just play and enjoy and build and have fun, because you're going to get a lot of really great things will come out.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do without my team. They're amazing. And it's like, I don't worry. I hand it off. I know they're going to do their job. As I say, if they have any problems, they'll bring me in. Like, I'm just there to fix the problems that they have. That's all the reason I'm there. And to coordinate everything. That's pretty much it. But I can't wait for AI employees as well to be able to just be like, hey, like, go do this. And it's like 2 a.m. when I have this random thought that I just need jotted down. I'm so excited. And we're not far off. Like, I used to think when I was a kid, like, this would be when I was 50, 60 years old, just getting to use it. And now we're seeing things like next 5 years we're going to have. I don't even know what to like look at. Like, it's so different. It's too open to give an idea of what it's going to look like.
I mean, it's something that we've been talking about too, is like, I've heard a lot of people talking about in the next couple of years, there will be businesses that spring up that have 1, 2, 3 employees and are multi-billion-dollar businesses that haven't raised any funds. And so it's just these people collecting a whole bunch of cash, because AI is making it so easy, right? I think about just even like our agent marketplace itself. If people can build really great structured agents and sell them to millions of people right there, those can be huge companies that really don't take more than a couple people to actually run that entire organization. And then when you have AI doing the sales and support for you, I mean, there's so much opportunity here to just build really interesting things. I think that's also what excites me is I think we can do a really cool thing within what we're building here to build a real cool entrepreneurial ecosystem where people can just build and deploy things pretty easily and then start to make money and start to build a little business for themselves. So those are things that I get excited.
You're not the only one building things like that. I just came across a new like Instagram type app. It's called Own app. Essentially, they're tokenizing your content so that you always have the royalties and stuff whenever it gets used. So I'll just wrap this up. Do you have any questions or anything you'd like to bring up before we end this podcast?
So one of the things I do talk about sometimes is the idea of just adoption of this stuff, right? And this is something I run into again a lot. We work on the Qebot side. We work with a lot of tradespeople. We work with a lot of small business owners that are scared of this stuff. They're like, I don't know, I can't get it. One of the things you need to think about is the people that are adopting it and are doing it are going to eat everybody else's lunch. Again, let's go back and think about the automations that we have. These people are going to be able to automate all the manual tasks and everything, so they have more time to be on the job doing the work. They are going to have salespeople that are AI people. Their AI is going to pick up the phone at 2 a.m. when you may not be. So they're going to get that business. They're going to have better marketing. Like, you could use AI to optimize your advertising, to optimize your SEO on your website, so you're ranking better. You can use AI to optimize optimize your entire marketing system so that you're getting more of the funnel into your business rather than anybody else. And the people that don't see that and don't say, okay, I know it's scary and I don't really understand it, but I'm going to try and adopt it. In 2 years, you're going to be so far behind that your business is going to be struggling. And I'm not trying to scare anybody, but start looking at it and start looking at it now, because once you do start to get it and start to use it, it's not that hard. It's not that scary. There's a lot of great resources out there, and it's going to help you stay relevant and stay competitive. So that's one big thing I think I talk about a lot is I talk to so many business owners. They're like, I just can't do it. I'm scared of it. And it's like, if you're scared of it now, be scared of where your business is going to be in the next few years. So.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. And also, there's a great opportunity to bridge that divide for anybody looking. Just go out and talk to people, figure out how to interface with them so that it's more nuanced to them and understanding to them, especially with old people.
And I'm here to help. Yep. Like, if people want to email me, matt@platypusos.com, email me. I love talking to people and just kind of understanding what people are thinking.
Just my entire business is just figuring out what people need and then going and building it. So thank you very much.
I hope you really enjoyed Matthew coming on the show. I really think it spoke to you about where AI is going, how it's redefining our spaces, and what it's going to look like in the future, hopefully. Reach out to him if you have any questions. He loves discussing these things with you. And if you need any more information, I'll put all of his details down in the bottom. Give me your thoughts and comments on what you think of this episode, if you'd like more or less in terms of AI, and let me know how we can go from here. So yeah, peace out, stay weird.